It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Asta.
And it is Car con Carne. What you could have done tonight, you could have watched the debate, or you could have watched Borat 2, but instead you chose to spend tonight with us here on Car con Carne. Tonight's a good one too, but before we get to that, Car con Carne is sponsored by C&H Financial Services. Business owners, if you're trying to find your way forward during all this, C&H Financial Services is here to help. They offer a variety of products ranging from traditional merchant accounts to a zero-cost payment processing solution, which eliminates the expense associated with accepting Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express as a form of customer payment. C&H Financial Services eTab solutions, easy to set up for your business for online ordering and curbside pickup. They also offer cost-effective commercial lending programs, which can help get your business the money it needs to make it through these unprecedented times. To learn more, contact C&H Financial Services at 855-600-2437 or go to chfs.us. So Saturday night, online, it is entirely virtual. It is the return of T1 Fest. I have Jimmy and Joe, the organizers, the creators of T1 Fest. Now, last year, to take a step back, last year, T1 Fest was 2 nights. It was at the Forge in Joliet. Lots of great music. Great cause. Obviously, COVID-19 has changed the way we do everything. So T1 Fest is all virtual this year. Let's start at the very beginning. T1 Fest is?
Basically, it's a music festival to raise money and to support the fight against type 1 diabetes. And it's a cause that's near and dear to our heart. And, honestly, I'll let Joe talk more on that because it's his kids that are the reason that we do this.
3 years ago, my son was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic. And as most parents, you're horrified at seeing your child go through something like that. You got to spend a few days in a hospital. You have to learn how to take care of them. And, it's just, your world gets flipped. You don't sleep anymore because when they go to sleep, you're awake. You're setting alarms to make sure everything's okay. You're constantly checking up on them. But we also got hit this year. Our 2-year-old daughter was also diagnosed. So now both my children, unfortunately, are dealing with the same thing.
So your son was diagnosed at 3 years old, and your daughter was just diagnosed at 2.
Yeah, he's now 6, and she's 2.5.
Wow. So you've got your hands full. There's a lot going on your end.
Oh, yeah.
And this is tough. And like you said, I mean, you can't ever rest because you're always just making sure, even when they're asleep, that they're going to be okay. It really does kind of upend everything for you, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, due, in fact, to a lot of like fundraising and things like this with T1 Fest, our whole goal is to raise as much money as possible, donate it to organizations that help come up with, the life-saving technology, the CGMs, the monitors. They're currently working on something called the bionic pancreas. That's something that I believe they're doing trials on it right now. But this is something that when their sugar drops, it gives them the glucagon, so it raises their blood sugar. And it also provides insulin when their sugar goes too high. So you don't necessarily have to worry about, physically balancing them out. This is something that will regulate them and keep their sugar levels normal, which will also keep their A1C levels normal, which is what you hope for. You want to keep your A1Cs good to avoid future complications. So, I mean, benefits, fests, and, donations for causes like this are huge.
Well, I'm glad you're doing this. It's such an important thing. When you found out at first that your son had type 1 diabetes, did you have a network or a community to lean on? Or like, I love that you're basically building community with these events, but did you have anything like that when you and your family found out, oh, this is what we have to deal with?
When we first got the diagnosis, honestly, we knew nothing of it because, you don't hear about type 1. Everything you hear is type 2. So when they told us type 1, we didn't know the difference at first. We're like, what did we do wrong? Did we do something wrong? And we had nobody to really turn to. But luckily, the JDRF, they come out, they introduce themselves, they give you like a bunch of little knickknacks for the kid to, a little bear to, comfort them and things like that. But as you go along, they kind of give you some outreach. They send you like some websites and stuff like that of like outreach, other parents who are going through it. So they kind of help you navigate like different like Facebook pages, Instagram pages. There's parents get together for meetings, things of that nature. So we kind of built our own little networking through social network. So, Facebook is huge. I couldn't tell you how many T1 organizations I'm, friends with, and there's not enough knowledge between anybody. You're always learning something new. And just when you think you got something covered, it just turns into something else, and it's crazy.
If anyone knows how to create and find community, it's a couple of punk rock guys.
Man, this punk community is unreal. The way that they open their arms and their willingness to like jump in and what do you guys need us to do? It's unreal. I don't think you get that in any other kind of genre of music without people having their hands out. And these guys, they don't expect anything out of helping. That's just an unbelievable feeling.
It's interesting. You said you really didn't know anything about it when you got that first diagnosis. Truthfully, until we sat down, we talked at the first T1 Fest. All three of us got together in my car, back in the day when you could do that sort of thing. Yeah. We got together in my car and talked about this, and I realized much of what I know about type 1 is because of you guys and because of this event. It's so interesting just how little information is just mainstreamed about it. And this is why an event like this, I think, is so important. Again, T1 Fest, this year's version is virtual. It is online starting at 5:00 on Saturday night. And we'll get to the lineup because it's going to be an awesome event. We've all seen some online stuff that's been okay so far during the pandemic. This is going to be a spectacular event. As someone who has two kids, and we're not ignoring you, Jim, I swear. But as someone who has two kids with type 1 and as a parent, I've got to think this is a challenging time. It's a challenging time for everyone. Life under COVID sucks. As a parent with kids wrestling with this, how has that been for you? How have you managed through that?
It's hectic. Right now, my son's in first grade. So, we're doing the homeschooling. So you're working, you're teaching, you're monitoring diabetes, not for one child, but for two children. So my daughter's a firecracker. So if you hear yelling and screaming, disregard that because she's a tornado. So the more active you are, actually, your sugar kind of fluctuates. So I'm running from working to trying to answer a question from the teacher or trying to tell my son to pay attention because he's falling asleep at the screen. My daughter's screaming. She's got a Dexcom, which thank God for Dexcom because without that, we'd be kind of lost. That lets you know when their sugar's going up and when they're going down. So I got alarms going off and, you're kind of running all over the place. But as a parent, and I'm sure many parents of type 1 diabetic kids, it's right now is definitely rough with having to manage, so many different things all at one time.
Well, since you probably have some of those parents' ears right now, what advice or what supportive message can you give them to help them kind of manage based on your own experiences?
For me, I have some great friends and great family. Now, one of them is down below. At least he's down below me right now. So, but everybody's like, you got to be willing to accept help. You have to. This isn't something that you should go without like venting. A lot of people kind of keep stuff bottled up inside. Like we kind of did it in the beginning, because who could we tell? I knew nobody with type 1 diabetes. So everybody I tried to tell something to, it was hard for them to understand. Well, I don't understand what's going on. You can't keep stuff bottled up. You got to network. You got to talk to people. It's just like in the punk community. T1 parents are so transparent. They will tell you anything that you ask them. So like I have no problem if anybody ever wanted to reach out to me directly and ask questions. I'm an open book. I'll tell you everything that we've gone through, everything that we've tried, everything that we've failed at doing, because that's all you can do. You're going to succeed sometimes with one method and you're going to fail what works for my son doesn't work for my daughter. Drives you crazy.
One of the things I learned just from last year, I guess in my head, I always assumed it was juveniles who get it, but it's not always juveniles. Teenagers can get this.
You'll see, like even with the type 1 diabetic pages on Facebook, you will have people who are in their 30s and 40s saying, I was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic. I'm 40 years old. Does anybody have any kind of information for me? And it's something, I mean, it's an autoimmune disease. So the unfortunate part of autoimmune diseases is if you get one, you're susceptible to get any number of them. So like for us, nobody in my family has type 1, but like we'll have psoriasis or something like that. And that's an autoimmune disease. So that could trigger any other autoimmune disease to kind of pop up in your life at any given moment.
Isn't it amazing how when something affects your children, you suddenly become an expert? Like you gather as much information and you can just recite it without even blinking an eye. You just internalize everything because you need to know that and have that information.
Yeah,
I'm hearing it.
It's something. It is something.
So again, I'm so glad that this event is happening. The T1 Fest, it's virtual. It's Saturday. Let's talk a little bit about that. Like I said, last year, Dan Vapid and the Cheats were live on stage. Smoking Popes were there. The Broke Downs, Brendan Kelly. What a weekend. And now this year, you have gone to the technological well and figured out how to make this all happen virtually. Let's talk about how and what and who for Saturday night.
Yeah, so, we have a great lineup, and I think the biggest thing is, we were, after last year with T1 Fest, we were so happy with how that went off. It was a great weekend, and we couldn't wait to do it again. We actually had a plan that we were going to be doing it actually twice this year. We were going to go to San Francisco in May, and then we had everything planned here for November. So we had already had these shows booked, had all the bands confirmed, and we're going to do 3 days in Chicago and 2 days in San Francisco. And then the world just turned upside down. So, obviously that was very disappointing, but we wanted to figure out, because it's such an important cause, we didn't want to let a year go by. We wanted to keep building the momentum. And we, wanted to be able to get this done this year. So we were kind of watching what was going on with the live streams at first. And I think some of them were very good. Some of them were not so good. But as we saw things, progressing, we said, okay, this is something we want to do. And I think the biggest thing about putting on this event is how much it just reaffirms, how many good people there are out there, especially in a time right now where I think there's a lot of negativity, because we see a lot of, let's face it, this country, we need a lot of help right now. There's a lot of issues we have to correct that's been going on way too long. But doing this, we've actually just so many good people that we've been involved with. So as we wanted to do this, I had reached out to Toby Jag from Red Scare Records because they had put a Red Scare event on in May. He introduced me to John at Social Distance Party, who are helping with this event, and they've been a huge help. It all just came together very quickly, and we have a great lineup. We have a band called the Lettermans that's going to be on there. The Death in Memphis, which is a great band from the Chicagoland area. The Usuals.
Death in Memphis, Car Con Carne alum, guest-wise.
Mm-hmm. The Usuals, another great band. Mm-hmm. We have the Radio Buzzkills, which are a great band, and if you've never seen them, I think you're going to see a really fun, high-energy show.
I feel like I've worked with them.
It might have. Then you have we have Haley and the Crushers are going to be doing some stuff. We have a great new band from Michigan, the Zonoids, whose album is dropping on October 31st, and we're really excited about that. And then, of course, we have Dan Vapid, who's always been a big help since we reached out to him last year, and a big supporter. And then Jen Pop and Polly from the Bomb Pops are going to be closing things out. And Polly is a type 1 diabetic. And she's actually someone who it's in her family, but she developed it later in her teens. And I know she's going to talk a lot about that on Saturday night. But yeah, it just, we reached out to everyone and said, look, this is what we're trying to do. It's going to be very different than last year because we just don't know what to expect. And, also with everything that's going on right now, just in the world. And, with how things are for people financially, we didn't want to charge for the event. We didn't want to do you have to pay to see the streamed event. We wanted to have it free. And if you can make a donation, great. We appreciate it. If you could buy a shirt, great. But if we can give you, 4 or 5 hours of enjoyment on Saturday night, actually being able to see some great live music, and we feel like we're doing our part there as well. Because we wouldn't be able to pull this off if there wasn't for so many great people that jumped in to help us. And I'd be, I feel horrible if I don't mention some of them, if you don't mind. Katie Hovland from Katie Hovland PR has just been a huge help.
She's the coolest. She's the coolest.
She really is. Miguel Lachimeda from Etch Illustration, who, he really just makes us look so good with his art in every possible way. And we have John Weaver from John Weaver Productions. He actually did a lot. He's going to be doing a lot of the video work for this. He does a great job. He actually, I think you might know of some of his work. He did the Bellhead video for their song Unicorns.
Oh yeah, Unicorn Bones.
Yeah. So, he donated all his time to help and do the video work for some of the recordings and the bands performing. So just so many people jump in and say, yes, we want to help you pull this off. So we're hoping for a great day, and hopefully we can raise some money and give some people a few hours of enjoyment.
I love it. And yes, it would be great to raise some money, but at the bare minimum, awareness is so important. Maybe someone will spend a couple hours watching, seeing some great performances and some good conversations. And then if they ever encounter someone who has a family member or a friend with a diagnosis, they'll say, oh yeah, here's what I know about it. Here's what I learned. Here's what you can do. It's just about getting that information socialized better. I think this is a great start to get that conversation kind of, this is such a 2020 word, but amplified, to amplify the conversation. I love that you're doing this. One thing I've talked about consistently this year on this podcast is how the pandemic has forced us all to innovate around how we do things. I did this in my car for 6 years, and now I'm just doing it from home every night. You have to find new ways to do old things. And I think the fact that you found a way to make this happen, make it cool, make it interesting, is awesome. I'm really excited for Saturday night.
Yeah, so are we, and we appreciate you being a part of it. I think that you're definitely going to help keep the flow of the event going. And it means a lot to us for, your support and your helping out in this as well.
Definitely.
Truly my pleasure. And did you mention, I don't know that you did you mention that Cap Gun Heroes are also performing at this event?
We did not. So, hopefully that doesn't, deter anybody from, actually watching the event.
That's your band. You're so good at marketing everything but your band. Your band's playing this.
Well, we figured we would name all the good bands that are playing.
Yeah.
You're such a Midwesterner, such a self-deprecating Midwestern punk guy. Cap Gun Heroes.
Cap Gun Heroes are playing as well. We're excited. We've actually been making the most out of the downtime with the pandemic. We have a new record coming out, hopefully by the end of this year or the beginning of the early part of 2021. It's going to be out on Hey Pizza Records. So we're looking forward to that. But yeah, we're playing too. So hopefully you can, you enjoy the set that we put on.
And I'm just going to blow smoke for one more second because you don't like to promote your band in the context of all this. I've heard this new stuff. It's short, fast, melodic, power chord punk rock. It's awesomely fun stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys play as well.
Appreciate it.
All right. So if someone wants to watch, let's just say, how does someone do this? If someone wants to, do they need to RSVP for this?
Yeah, they need to RSVP. They can go to t1fest.com. And all the information, the links, everything you need are right there on the main page. You can RSVP there, and it's going to be streamed on Facebook Live and Twitch. And we're looking forward to what we think is going to be a really fun day.
What I like about hosting a charity event like this, I can dress just like this. I did a charity event like a month ago. I'm like, I guess I should wear a button down, even though I'm sitting in my house. There are punk rock bands. I can wear a hoodie, right, for the charity event?
You can wear whatever you want. Just make sure you wear clothes. That's all.
That's all. Exactly.
If you want, you can wear your Cap Gun hoodie or Cap Gun Heroes hoodie.
I just might. I just might. I'm wearing my Punkhead hoodie today, so but this one will probably still be in the wash by the time Saturday hits. So, all right, guys, thank you. I love the work you're doing. Thank you for the work you're doing. I wish wellness and health and prosperity for you and your families.
Thank you.
I'm going to get off the Facebook Live just because I need to clear my throat. But thank you for doing this.